Gen Z is literally burning their financial futures for a $7 oat milk latte and a viral TikTok trend. And the reason why will make your blood boil. This isn't just bad math or laziness. It is a calculated psychological survival mechanism triggered by a world that feels like it's ending. But the most terrifying part isn't the spending itself. It's a hidden brain glitch that corporations are using to hijack the Gen Z mind. And if you don't learn what it is by the end of this video, you are guaranteed to stay broke forever. Welcome to Personality Analysis, where we strip back the layers of human behavior to see what's really going on inside your head. Today, we are dissecting the most controversial economic shift in history. We're talking about the psychology of Gen Z spending. You've seen the headlines. You've seen the memes. Older generations are screaming about avocado toast, while Gen Z is out here buying designer clothes and concert tickets,
while living in their parents' basements.
It looks like insanity from the outside. But once you understand the doom spending phenomenon, everything changes. We are witnessing the death of the American dream and the birth of a new high-stakes psychological game where the rules have been completely rewritten. Think about the traditional path to success. You work hard, you save every penny. You buy a house, you retire at 65. For boomers and Gen X, that was a reality. But for Gen Z, that path doesn't just look hard, it looks impossible. When the average house price is 10 times your annual salary, and the planet feels like it's on the verge of a literal or economic collapse, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning simply shuts down. This is the first pillar of Gen Z psychology, nihilistic consumption. Why save for a house you'll never afford?
When you can buy a pair of noise-canceling headphones
that make your miserable bus ride feel like a cinematic experience?
Why put money into a 401k when you're not even sure what the world will look like in 2050? When the big things are out of reach, the small things become the only things. It's a psychological pivot from delayed gratification to radical instant gratification. If you can't own a home, you might as well own the best skincare routine on the planet. But here is where it gets dangerous. This isn't just a natural reaction to a tough economy. This is being weaponized. Enter the world of girl math and boy math. You've heard the jokes, right? If I pay with cash, it's free because the number in my bank account didn't go down. Or if I return something for $50 and then spend $100, I actually only spent $50. On the surface, it's a funny trend. In reality, it's a psychological coping mechanism called cognitive dissonance reduction. Gen Z knows they should be saving. They feel the anxiety of being broke. So their brains invent these hilarious math rules to silence the guilt. It's a way to keep the dopamine flowing without the crushing weight of financial regret. And let's talk about that dopamine. We are living in the era of the dopamine buffet. Every time you open TikTok, you are bombarded with must-haves, hauls, Amazon finds you didn't know you needed. The algorithm knows your weaknesses better than your therapist does. It knows that when you're feeling lonely, a new outfit might make you feel seen. It knows that when you're stressed, an unboxing video will give you a hit of serotonin.
This has created a phenomenon I call identity by subscription.
For Gen Z, who you are isn't defined by what you do, but by the aesthetic you purchase. Are you clean girl? Are you old money? Are you gorpcore? Each identity comes with a shopping list. You aren't buying a product, you're buying a personality. Because in a digital world, your vibe is your only currency. Now, you might be thinking, surely they know they're being manipulated. Of course they do. Gen Z is the most marketing-savvy generation in history.
They can spot a traditional ad from a mile away, but they can't spot a friend.
This is the power of parasocial relationships. When your favorite influencer tells you that a specific water bottle changed their life, your brain doesn't process it as a sales pitch. It processes it as a recommendation from someone you trust. You feel like you know them. You see their bedroom, you see their morning routine, you see their struggles. So when they tell you to buy something, you're not just spending money, you're participating in their life.
You're buying a piece of that connection.
But the real silent killer of Gen Z's bank account is something much more sinister. The buy now, pay later trap. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, these companies have perfected the art of bypassing the pain of paying.
Normally, when you hand over cash or swipe a card, your brain feels a little sting of loss.
But when you break a $100 purchase into 4 easy payments of $25, that pain vanishes. Your brain perceives the cost as $25, not $100. It's a psychological loophole that has led to an explosion of phantom debt. Gen Z is drowning in small payments that add up to a massive weight. And because it's not a traditional credit card, it doesn't feel like real debt. Until the low balance alert hits. Do you ever feel like your money just disappears into a black hole? Like you're working harder than ever but have nothing to show for it? You aren't alone. This is the subscriptionization of life. From Netflix to Spotify to gym memberships to software. Gen Z is the first generation that doesn't own anything. They rent their music, their movies, and even their clothes. This creates a psychological state of permanent precarity. You feel like you're constantly running on a treadmill just to keep the lights on. It's exhausting. And what do we do when we're exhausted? We spend money on convenience. We order Uber Eats because we're too tired to cook. We pay for premium because we can't stand the ads. We are spending our future to survive the present. But wait, there is a flip side to this. Some call it soft life spending. This is the rejection of the hustle culture that burned out millennials. Gen Z is prioritizing mental health and experiences over traditional milestones. They will spend $2,000 on a trip to Japan, but refuse to buy a car. Why? Because an experience can't be taken away. A car can be repossessed. A house can lose value. But a memory? That's yours forever. It's a shift from material wealth to experiential wealth. It's beautiful in a way, but it's also terrifying for their long-term stability. So, what is the hidden glitch I mentioned at the start? The one that brands are using to drain your bank account? It's called the Ditto Effect. Named after a French philosopher, it's the phenomenon where obtaining a new possession often creates a spiral of consumption, which leads you to acquire even more new possessions. For example, you buy a new pair of sneakers. Suddenly, your old jeans look terrible, so you buy new jeans. But now your shirt doesn't match the vibe, so you buy a new shirt. Brands have mastered this. They don't sell you a product, they sell you an ecosystem. They make sure that if you buy one piece of the puzzle, you feel incomplete until you buy the rest. Gen Z, with their obsession with aesthetics and cores, is the most vulnerable generation to the Ditto Effect in human history. They are caught in a never-ending cycle of upgrading their lives one aesthetic at a time, never realizing that the finish line doesn't exist.